What's up, you filthy animal? It's the festive times. It's that time of year. You know what it is. You know what it be. No matter what you celebrate, thank you for being here. And I'm going to do everything in my ability throughout this whole entire month to remember to state this is a festive time. To remember that there's more than one celebration happening. But for today, my festive friend, there is a person that you have your eyes on that has no idea that you want them. This is a person that finds you mutually attractive. They keep telling me this is something about breaking stereotypical roles. Maybe you haven't reached out to this person because you feel that the ball's not in your court in some way. It's very interesting. That's what our reading's going to be about today. What am I seeing with this ball being in your court, but not being willing to proceed forward? It's very interesting. Well, while we're up here, I feel like I'll use the Spirit Animal Tarot as well. I've been seeing a lot of seahorses lately, and seahorses are all about breaking gender norms. So the seahorses, the mother gives birth, I believe, but then the father takes care. Just the same with penguins. I know for a fact that with penguins, don't quote me on the seahorses, I really am sure though. Something about the fathers take over a role, and all I can see with that is breaking gender norms. I think a lot of you here are a person that wants to reach out to a masculine, but you're like, that's not my position. I get that. And I'm not saying every single one of you here that's like incorrect or wrong. Some of you here, absolutely, the masculine in your reading, if you're not the masculine here, is to bring forward movement, but everything is situational. If you want your future to continue forward, you got to be the creator of your reality. This life is not about following only one way of doing things. That was installed. Do not get me wrong. I understand you're a feminine who wants and is deserving of a masculine to take over control. I get it. And if I'm telling you, most of you here I feel right now are this feminine, and a lot of you here are the feminines gaining this understanding of why it's okay to bring forward movement to whoever this is for you. And the masculines who are here watching this, I think I'm helping you understand them more. Why? Because I'm just feeling this intensity of why do I have to reach out when I'm picking up on the masculine? There's a miscommunication. These are two people that it's not a secret admirer thing. Like you got some form of history, even if you just barely dated or messed around. This is interesting. There was a deep sexual attraction between you two. A deep sexual attraction. So maybe that's another reason why does this feminine feel some form where you... This is a spicy reading. Okay? This is a spicy reading. This is going to be a definite reading of good high vibrations, getting you on the right path forward, but a little bit of what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Let's do this. This This got a lot of emotions in it. I mean, that's what we do here. But there's within your mind specifically, my friend, there's a story that needs to be shucking up. There's something that's an incompletion. You're in your head. You're in your head about a connection. You've made assumptions about somebody that is from your past. Look, this is going to be a Band-Aid. Do not make my readings ever fit any reader, any reading fit for that matter. But I'm telling you, this one is good and hard for you to hear. And I'm doing this for you because I'm here for your highest timeline. Okay? A lot of you, this was an ex that you guys took a humongous long mental break from each other. There was inconsistency. There was unfaithfulness. There was a big sense of avoidance when you two were together. You both very much love and were in love with each other, but you still had feelings for other people. Yes, you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's part of this human experience. Either you or that end, or possibly both, there was some form of unfaithfulness. That is 1000%. The story is incomplete. There is, for a lot of you here, there was a sense of not telling your masculine or whoever this reading is for you, that there was a sense of unfaithfulness on your end. Okay? When we do readings like this, a lot of people can get very mad and not want to get what looks like is a finger being pointed at them. This is for your highest timeline. The only way forward is to admit to your story, to not harp, also to not psycho repeat. It's not bully yourself. Own and grow. Own and grow. These are still collective, takes what resonates, but I feel as if you and this person, like, you felt like this person was almost down to a T, always going to be there for you, even when you broke up. There was this sense of, if you needed protection, if you needed a safe space, you knew that was the person you could call. This person was a catalyst of your change, because I sensed the last time you two were in front of each other, you went from feeling like you were on top of the world to this person to almost felt like they threw you out a window. You were hurt. They had treated you in a way they never had before. There was a sense of uncaring, and that is not okay. I'm not sitting here and justifying or giving excuses to whoever this else was in the reading. Okay, I'm giving understandings for both sides. That person hit their volcano point with you. They felt unseen, unheard, unworthy. They felt that you were only going to them because they were a safe space. They felt used. So their ego acted in ways that's not that it shouldn't, was a cause and effect. This person put you through a lot of stress. You loved them. And you loved them. But it was stressful being with them. If there was some unfaithfulness on your end, or just a sense of not feeling fully committed, you couldn't put yourself full into the relationship because it was like not being in a relationship, it was like being a parent to them. Take what resonates. You had to keep so much back from them for so long because you didn't want there to be problems. Of course, you were going to have your volcano effect as well. This is a young-minded dynamic. You two met each other in a state of life where you were still learning about who you are. We're always learning about who we are. But God, this was trying to make things fit after a certain point with you staying together. There were so many signs. So many people around that were stating that was trying to make things fit after a certain point with you staying together. There were so many signs, so many people around that were stating that, like, this is just going to end bad no matter what. You might as well end it now before shit hits the fan. So you did. The way you see this person that you broke up with, which is most likely an air sign, but there's more than that as well. There's so much more than that zodiac. I was pulling cards. I got Gemini, I got air signs, I got water signs, I got Aries. There's a lot going on here. So for you to go back into this person's life, you feel that you need an invitation. The reason that invitation will not be given is because of the decision your person made to never chase somebody again. You two had a back and forth dynamic. There was, for a very long time, no chaser, no runner. This person was your home base. They were a protector for you, and you came to them. The thing is, in that moment, when you left that door, that room, that outing together, that last time you saw each other, that was actually the moment you two could be truly together. What does that mean? That contradictory? That moment, the death, the destruction, the end of the chaos you two used to have together. The mental clarity that came, that you both were like, no, we can't be together. And for a long time, both of you completely separated. Still loved each other from afar, but like, you had to learn value. They had to learn value in life. I feel that you are hard on yourself about this connection. This individual, you're wondering if they're with somebody else, like the changes, something better came their way. This person doesn't feel what you have is completely unbreakable. The bond, no matter who else came into their life, they didn't have the twinkle in their smile and eyes as you. I sense a pop-up. Maybe this person randomly popped up on your For You page. Maybe this person, maybe you randomly saw them when you were out and about, but you saw this person somewhere and you see them glowing and shining. And they could actually, these are my tattoo tarot. When I feel called to pull them, it usually means a person has like a lot of tattoos, or even just somebody recently just got a tattoo, you or them. This is very beautiful. You see this person in the highest of lights. This person's climbing. And you're climbing. And you have so much to share with them. You see this person, it has made a staple for who they are in this world. In your time apart, they've grown. They've cherished. If there was some form of legal matter involved, it feels like it's done. Completed. More successful than you ever could have imagined. There's a lot this person has to tell you, and you have to tell them. There is an incomplete story. I know you're afraid that if you reach out that there's going to be a poor quality of results, but you see, that's the thing. The people that are telling you to make this person reach out to you and etc., they don't even have the best advice to give when it comes to love. They might be in relationships and etc., but they're not, we're ripping off the Band-Aid. They're not happy. The people, I feel it, the people around you right now, they might love each other and etc., but the individuals that you're like either basing your decisions off of or getting advice are not 1000% happy, have settled in some form in their life with love. Unfortunately, a lot of people do, and you don't have to go down that. You've gone down this whole journey so you two can align at the correct time. At this current moment, you feel the happiest and the brightest you have in a very long time. And you don't want to get thrown back into a depressive mood or an indifference right now, especially with it being the festive times, by putting your heart out there and it not being reciprocated. Let me tell you something. If this is meant for you, this is what this person feels. 1010%. They feel that you were placed in their life for a catalyst of change in the best and worst ways. When you left this person's life for the first time, it shattered their self-illusion. It made them see, where am I lacking in life? What am I doing? They upgraded. They were inspired by losing you. And time went on for both of you. That little guy in him is gone. And it's funny that they want me to state that masculine, then you're going to be like, yeah, this is what I was doing in this moment. Your time of separation, your masculine's been healing his inner child. And it's not that his little guy is gone. He's upgraded to his inner teenager. Him and his inner teenager are like right side by side. It's like he's like the coach to his inner teenager right now. And they have their little guy, their inner child, safely watching and learning from them outside the ring. There was a weird dynamic in your masculine's head. I'm telling you, this person was fucking... I'm not like... Yo, you're masculine. If you are the masculine, crazy shit was going on in their head. They were not balanced. I'm laughing, but I'm not. That last confusion, the air, the fogginess, it's been lifted from them. This is a humongous reason why this person won't reach out to you even though they want to. Because they know if they truly love somebody or something unconditionally, truly, and don't want that person, thing, etc. to be forced into their life. When you love something unconditionally, you let them go. If you are not what makes them the happiest, if you are not what is going to fulfill them, and you love them unconditionally, you let them go. And if they find their way back to you, they were truly meant for you. And if they didn't or don't, that means it was a spiritual lesson. And you're grateful for the time and the experience. But something that's strong is more than that. There's an incompletion. That is why your masculine will not reach out to you at this moment. Your masculine's not going to reach out to you unless you reach out to him, because he does not want to force himself into your life. I feel that you've had some missed signs. I think that it's not that this masculine it hasn't done anything. Okay, so remember, don't make these fucking fit, my homies. This would be a masculine that's already tried to reach out to you at least one time in between your time of being apart, and you had to have ignored it. Didn't see it. Maybe you changed your phone number and they have your old phone number. Because there is almost this sense of feeling like the masculine has presented themselves to you and they felt not accepted. That's what I see. I don't feel your masculine giving the offer and it being reciprocated. I feel your masculine giving the offer and getting almost what feels like a stone wall. So they just said, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And if I'm going to respect this person's energy and etc., I'm not going to throw myself into their life. That's why your masculine's not reaching out to you. And if you're the masculine here, I'm confirming to you that you're correct. You tried. You can build. But there is this balance, give and take. It's like right now, it's like you're on the inside of a building. The bricks being handed to you and you're out of bricks and you are so already built inside the building that you need somebody outside to come bring you more supplies. You can't get yourself out yet. You haven't made a door or etc. Whatever. Take it as an example, an energetic example. So that person, the divine, is driving the car right now and bringing more materials so the masculine could take back control. That is all this is right now. It's about passing the ball back in his court or their court, however that resonates. It's something as simple as that. It's a gender norm. It's a stereotype. It's an old school way of thinking. And I'm not saying, like, believe me, I'm a person all about the beauty, the yin and yang of everything. There are some beautiful things about being an old school mindset of romance and etc. The cheesiest but most important things like opening doors, kissing hands, speaking with elegancy, showing love, admiration, but also not expecting you to be... You know what I'm saying? That beautiful part of the old age love mixed in with the new age love of understanding that we're all the same. It is not one gender above the rest. It is not... Love is not a sense of prudence. It's a love... Love is not a dance battle. It's a tango. Your guide and support. It's not about one person being in control. God, how many fucking problems come from always needing control? You think this person has moved on to something better than you. You both separated for further growth. You both have been with other people since this time. I mean, don't make this fit, but at least that doesn't necessarily have to mean sexual. For a lot of you here, you have been with more sexual people, because it feels like it's been years since you two have been together and or seen each other. It's not that neither of you found somebody better. You found who you're supposed to be at that time to learn more lessons. What I sense now is a state of both of your energies being open. So not necessarily them being with somebody, or at least not having something serious enough that's locking them down. Let's continue with these cards. You're wondering if there had been some form of a child within this dynamic. You're wondering if this person had a child with somebody else, or you could have seen them. You saw them in a dynamic with like a family. You're wondering if during this time apart, do they have a new family? I see you lowering your walls, getting out of your comfort zone, and then almost seeing like you went out and you saw this person. Like, you had to have either seen this person online, physical pictures with somebody else, could have been a family, it looks like posted together, or even outside. I'm seeing somebody outside in a place that's like very like holistic, like valued. I don't even know how to explain it better than that. Like in market, outside, tents, arts market, yada yada. Yeah, this person, you wanted to return into their life. You saw the destiny you were avoiding when you saw this person's eyes, either in the picture or front. I don't think if this was in person, the masculine did not see you. If you're the masculine here, you did not see them, and you weren't supposed to. They are not with, I don't sense this. They're not. If you're wondering if they're if they're basically a father right now to a child, or a parent, even taking up just a parental role with like, so what I'm sensing here is they got into a relationship with somebody who already had a kid. It's not that this kid was their kid. They were with somebody who had a kid and were an adult figure to that kid that could have led to something more. You saw this person for further growth at that time, no matter how much it hurt you. Seeing that picture, seeing them in person, etc., you realized how much you were avoiding fate with them. And how much in that moment you wanted to communicate, but you didn't want to force anything. You saw the vibrancy in them, and it made you a little, remember, telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. It made you a little, the word envious and jealous don't feel right, but that's the only thing that's coming in my mind right now. That's what your ego wants you to think it was. You felt your heart longing for what was yours, but you truly knew at the end of the day was meant for you. You separated for further growth. You did nothing wrong. This is all part of the plan. This is all part of your destiny. Seeing the moment of realization that I'm avoiding my destiny is the moment you align back with your destiny, because you're not on autopilot anymore. This person does want to communicate with you, and you reaching out to them would not be forcing. It would be flowing. They're not with somebody. If you're wondering if they've gotten somebody pregnant within your time apart, or if they're pregnant within your time apart, there does not feel like another child. These are collective tapes what resonates. So if for any reason there was another child, If there was a child that was in between this time of you two being together, they have with somebody, they're not with whoever the co-parent is. I sense cordialness no matter what, but not a relationship. This person was with somebody and isn't with somebody anymore. That's why you've been feeling so many more signs. At this point, the only way you would be avoiding the next step, fate, is trying to force this masculine to reach out to you. Do you feel that friction when we start thinking at this exact moment, he or they have to be the one that reaches out? It is the biggest wall. Assuming things have to be a certain way. This is a guide and support. This is that step one. This is me telling what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And you guys know me. I don't tell people to like ever really go to something. Let me reword that. I don't tell people to reach out to others. Most of the time, it is about receiving. And it's not that you're about to give. This is for your highest timeline. The only way you and this person can have a timeline together right now and explore the future is by you putting the ball back in the court. So at this current moment, this is how the person sees you of this reading. The energy, they think about you all the time. Okay? I sense a person who... I'm just sensing a person who has a lot of responsibility. A lot of people hold value to the words. A lot of people are magnetized by your person and they're magnetized by you. No matter what, you two are connected. If you've been thinking about them like this, that means they've been thinking about you like this. This is the feelings as we speak that your masculine feels about you. And if you're the masculine here, this is confirmation for you that we are picking up and together sending this message to your feminine. The healer and the rebel. When you two in the past were together, like, it was healing in the beginning. It was healing and then it went sour. But the things the rebellious nature, you both definitely had some of the best sexual yada yada, if you will, than you've had with the partners you've received in this lifetime. I'm not stating that other people weren't good or etc., but whoever this masculine is an extreme giver and loved to please you. I was not expecting very sexual energy to be talked about. Not that it wasn't here, but this is prominent. This is something that needs to be known. If you're wondering, okay, so there must have been some intense physical appearance changes within both of you. So you're wondering how are you still their taste? It's interesting. They cherish every inch of your body still. Like when they look at a picture of you, they are still breathtaking. The liberator. Your person's spiritually inclined as well, and they can feel that you've released what no longer serves. And you've taken a lot of time to kind of rebuild yourself from a pretty toxic situation in between you being with them and this moment in front of me. They know that this is funny. There was a conflict in the past, not with you two, but like with others, of religion. Of what other people would think. Science against nature, or nurture against science. I don't know why I keep saying it that way. That's not the way to say it, but that's the way they want me to say it right now. The yin yang of how everything works together. Your masculine, as we speak, they respect themselves enough, and you, to not prick the thorn. They would be liberated by your presence. They would light up and see something I'm being very called to state to you right now. if you wouldn't have left, they wouldn't have pulled up their big boy trousers or big person trousers. Like, they're grateful for everything that's happened. I need you to understand that this person is an individual that believes how all of these purposes, these ways of existing can work together. This is a person that works with science, magic, spirituality, religion, everything. They don't put themselves in a box. They have very kind and strict morals about how they treat others and themselves. This person absolutely would be liberated to have you back in their life. Whatever you have to tell them, they see the energy exchange that came from this dynamic. So no matter how this resonates, if you have something you have kept from them, and that is why you haven't gotten together. If you feel there's a piece of information that you tell them and they would never want to be with you again, that's not how love is. Love is included in, it's all factors included. It's not just the parts that you want to see in a person. Love is vulnerability. This person doesn't only remember your past, they still see a future with you. But only if you bring yourself back into their life. Only if you tell them the music is playing again on our dance and give the lead back to the masculine. And if you're the masculine here, I want to give you some big forward movement signs with animals and etc. for both of you. Your step one from here. You see, the masculine, fucking telling you, I've been pulling this elk card for months. And I haven't even used this deck in a very long time. To my masculines here, there's two signs that you're getting, which is about the elks and tigers. Okay, tigers are all about fire. Elks are all about nobility, holding herself, being that realistic knight in shining armor. You have always been the person that's wanted to get on the horse and gallop and be this savior. You had a savior complex when you were younger. And you have released that. You understand now that even though you're willing to travel all these journeys, doesn't mean you should. You're owning your crown chakra by not reaching out to them, because this is an energy exchange. This is a cause and effect. Reaching out to this person at this point for you would not fuck everything up, but it's all of the work you've done, this law of attraction, allowing what is supposed to become, is because you no longer feel like you have to save everybody. You see, these elks and these tigers, they're helping you remember the only way you're able to keep your responsibilities in line and be able to be enough for others is by letting your team come to you. Letting spirit show you the ones who are deserving of the extra oomph. You're passionate, you're powerful, you're bold, you're brave. And it is time that it was reciprocated back to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. This lifetime is about, you're going to be seeing squirrels and sea turtles these next upcoming days. You're finding a flow. You're always in flow. You're always in current. And now you're finding how to make your stream within this person's. Spiritually, you know, you're more than prepared for this. And this connection's divinely protected. There's a bigger vision that you two see. Your connection is a divine connection. Okay, I don't say that lightly. This is an extremely powerful and bubbling force. It's not, I don't see bursting. It's bubbling. It's like a fish tank, and there's just continuous bubbles for oxygen, for keeping afloat. It doesn't stop with you two. This is a person for you to burst bubbles with. A big thing I'm being called to talk about is if there's a third party interference. Even though I've already stated that there isn't. But somebody else needs a little bit of an understanding. More that there is not anybody trying to get in the way of your connection. Yeah, I can't stop thinking about you with the seeking help. If you're one, so you already know that they're not with anybody. So now you're wondering if there's a friend or a family member, somebody in their life that is against you being with them, or they've talked to. They've gone to found family and the closest people in their life and asked about you, and they've stated that if you come back, that this is something they should go for. Nobody on this person's side is trying to get in the way of you too. Somebody needed to hear that. So the send-off card, my friend. This is the truth you've been listening for. This is what's unveiling the highest timeline furthering for you. You're going to be successful no matter if this person's in or out of your life. But it is time that if you want this to resume, you dribble the ball to their court. I sense it being cold outside, which obviously it's this time of year. You may be wanting to invite this person to something. I'm feeling an in. Like, if you're trying to find an in, a way to speak to this person, you don't have to make this big, extravagant invitation. You don't have to wait for something. This is a time of going ahead and overcoming that obstacle. If you want to invite them out, if you want to make it something as simple as a dinner or etc., it's time. So I still can't cut off the message, and I always know when it's time. I can feel the flow when Spirit says you can release the message, and it's not happening. So I know I still have one. I have one more deck of cards I need to pull, and this is for specifically whoever the masculine is in this dynamic. I need you to hear me when I state this, okay? Anybody that is feeling resonated with this, continue to feel this message. But for a lot of you here right now, I'm talking specifically to divine masculines who do identify as male. There's something you need to let go of when it comes to being very hard on yourself of past decisions. Yeah. The only way this person, once they come in, the only way that you could stop this flow is by making yourself feel still so trapped by the insecurity and decisions you made of the past. This is a whole new beginning. When this person reaches out to you, it's not about harping. It's not about asking for all these answers of the past. It's about forward movement. What you're supposed to know will be told. This dynamic is healthy. Do not make this fit. I will say that over and over and over and over again in readings. That's why readers, as such, make these so specific. Yes, they're collective, takes what resonates, but when you're trying to fit and if you're trying to make yourself feel like this person who imprisoned you and was extremely toxic, and it wasn't insecurity, it wasn't understandable cause and effect, you guys learning and growing, it was something else, do not make this fit. This person in front of me is an extremely loving force. You are not the father you had. You have upgraded. You have taught yourself, and your child will be miles ahead of us. And that's a beautiful thing. That's the way it should be. Every generation's life and strength and understandings and sympathy and compassion should be strengthened. That's what evolution is. We're not supposed to just stay. I need you to release. Go with me here. Self-pity. You did fucking nothing wrong. You did the best with the shoes you had, and you're different now. You put your big boy pants up. I don't need you to pretend to be undyingly strong. Being completely, truly strong is honoring that you have vulnerability, is honoring what you did in the past. But staying clear-minded and resolving. When they come in, this is that missing puzzle piece the Spirit's been telling you about. You let this person go for a long time. You allowed yourself to move on. And there was other people that you were able to learn a lot of lessons with that. If you would have learned with this person, if they never would have left, would have destroyed your dynamic. Every single divine counterpart ship separate at least one time for further growth. At least one time. This person is bringing you this offer, and it's stable and it's real. You build and go forward. You know who the fuck you are, and you know what you bring to the table. That's who they fell in love with. They've always seen you, even when you didn't see yourself. And even if both of you lost sight for a long time, that was part of the plan. You had to lose sight of each other to find yourselves. This is beautiful. And there's a lot of puzzle pieces that were lost that have been found under the rug, under the couch. There's like other people involved. There's structure. Whatever this is, there's not going to be some form of jealousy. There's not going to be people around who try to take away from the value of this extremely beautiful, unique dynamic. There has to be at least one more part of this message because I can't get off the flow. It feels like if I tried to stop the message at this point, I'd be jumping off a train. So what's going on with that? What still more about inner trust here is needed? It's 1000%. Okay. Yeah, the message is about religious factors. There's going to be a conflict of interest between you and their family. They're going to state that this is the can of worms. They're not going to be, my family's not going to be happy about us being together, but I don't care. If you two don't have to like each other, but they do have to respect you. Because what I sense is you're not going to be the problem. You're going to be very much this optimistic person who tries to always make the situation as smooth and cordial as possible. And you're going to have to do everything in your might to not get upset or triggered or picked at when you do have to see these individuals. They're part of your person's life. And they're giving them an ultimatum too. You respect my person, or you're going to put me in a really fucking hard position. Because I love them and I love you. But I love you all. You're my family, and I'm in love with that person. There's a difference. This is more than a past life connection that's going to happen in this 3D existence. The way you continue to prepare it forward is being optimistic and real to yourself. And being optimistic means that you know you're ready for all of the band-aids to rip. Being optimistic means you're willing to do the hard work and planting and uprooting and putting into a pot and moving things around. But you can do it. That is what I have for you today. All right? All right. Festive times, let's get it.